Home, and we were made to memorize scriptures. And as my life has gone on, it seems like every season of my life I can pull back on a scripture that I had memorized. Now my family also calls me the party queen because I like to throw parties and have a good time and have fun, good parties. But this particular time in my life, I was throwing a party, but I was the only one attending because you see it was a pity party. Nobody else does that, right? Nobody has pity parties out there. This was about 20 years ago. We lived in Texas, and I was in the car, and my mother was riding with me, visiting in town. And I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw the blue lights. And I thought, I don't even know what I did. I was not speeding, so he pulled me over. Turns out that I had ran a yellow light. In Texas, I guess they're stricter than they are in Louisiana and Arkansas. And when he got back in the car, I looked at her and I said, it's just Murphy's Law. That's all it is, it's Murphy's Law. And you know what Murphy's Law is? She didn't know. My mama didn't know. She said, what is Murphy's Law? And I said, well, whatever bad can happen, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen to me. Because you see, within the last year, my 4-year-old daughter had her appendix burst inside of her and spent 12 days in the hospital. I gave birth to a baby that was not alive. Our house was flooded, 4 feet of water in our home, and I was the one who was supposed to be in charge of buying insurance and all that. That's just not really in my wheelhouse, and so I did not get the flood insurance. So we spent the next year rebuilding our home. So all these things had kind of happened within the last year, and I said, it's just Murphy's Law. And she said, well, I don't know who Murphy is, but my God says, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. In 2 Timothy 1:7. So that became my theme verse for that season of my life. God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. As time goes on, I'm sure that everybody in this place could tell a story. We all have a story of our life and how God has brought us through. The thing is, we have to decide what we're going to focus on. My husband used to say to my kids, "Or do you need me to call the ambulance?" Because they were whining. So we can choose to see the good, pick out the good, or we can call the ambulance and have a pity party by ourselves. Now, I know it's not that easy, but a few years ago, my husband was diagnosed with Burkitt's lymphoma, and he was hospitalized for just about a year. It was in advanced stages. There were days he didn't even talk to me. He just laid there, and it was really hard to go home at night and not have your best friend there with you and not to know what was going to happen. And once again, I was faced with doing everything in the home, which he takes care of everything. He takes care of me. So I was talking to my sister-in-law one day, and she said, "Christy, you just have to find a praiseworthy moment, even if it's hard. One praiseworthy moment. One thing that you can be grateful for that day." So that's what I started doing. Try to find one thing that I was grateful for every day. My verse for that season, and for this season of my life too, it's kind of been for a long season, but I also memorized this verse, Philippians 4:8. "Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." So that gives us instruction. We have to think about the positive. And my friend Leah is the best about that. You could say anything like, "Oh, I just cut off my toe," and she'd say, "Oh, that's one less toenail you have to polish." It's true, it's true. Leah. She is the best about taking lemons and making lemonade, turning it for the positive. And they say that comparison is the enemy of gratitude. But if you turn that around and you start to compare your situations to some of our heroes like Paul and Job and Joseph and Jesus, it seems like our situation's pretty good if we compare ourselves, and we have so much to be grateful for. There was a man named Horatio, and I'm not sure how long I've been going. You said 5 minutes, so I'm trying to talk. Horatio Spofford, I don't know if that's how you say it. In the mid-1800s, he lived in Chicago. He was a prominent lawyer, and he had lots of properties. His life was great. He had 5 children, a son and 4 daughters. His life changed. His son first died, then the Great Fire of Chicago, the Chicago Fire, lost a lot of properties, which was really tough. So then he sent his wife and his daughters on this ship to go to Europe, kind of as a getaway. And he said, "I'm going to take care of some things here, and then I'm going to join you." In a few days, he received a telegram from his wife that said, "Saved alone." They had shipwrecked, and their 4 daughters had drowned. So on the way to meet up with his wife, he was in that same path where he had lost his daughters. On the ship, he penned these words that later became a hymn. "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul." Even in his situation, he knew who to trust in and how to find that peace in God and say, "It is well with my soul." There's another songwriter that kind of called the father of gospel music, Andre Crouch. You may have heard of him. If you haven't, you probably have heard of his music. Come on, girls. We see things, we see people, and we think, oh, their life is great. If my life was like theirs, man, it would be awesome. But then what you don't see is what their life is really like. They've been through things. And I can tell you, some of the greatest, most awesome people that I know have been through a lot and learned and grown through it. Andre Crouch was one of those people. He lost his father, mother, and brother all within a year to cancer. And then he himself, over his life, had 4 different kinds of cancers. He finally died of congestive heart failure. But even through all of that, he wrote this song.
Knowing the battles For you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed me yet. You never failed me yet. Ooh, I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me yet. He's never failed me yet. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again.
See you move,
You
you move the mountain, and I believe
see you do it again.
I'll see you do it again. Made a way where there was no way. I believe
See you do it again.
I'll see you do it again. I'll see you move, you move the mountain, and I believe
See you do it again.
I'll see you do it again. Made a way where there was no way. I believe
See you do it again.
I'll see you do it again. I'll see you do it again.
Oh, again. I wanna see you do it again. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me yet. Oh, you never fail me yet, Jesus. Oh, you healed my body so many times. You've been there for me, Jesus. Oh, you never fail me yet. You never fail me
Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There
believe the Lord is a way maker? Do you believe He's a miracle worker today? Amen. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. I worship you. You are here. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. I worship you. I worship you. We call you the Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. We call you the Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. I worship you. I worship you. You are here. You are here, healing every heart.
miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
We call you the
Waymaker, miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
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 Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop. Even when I don't see it,
Even when I don't see it,
even
your
when I
work.
don't feel it,
Even when I don't feel it, your work. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, your work. Even when I don't feel it, your work. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, your work. Even when I don't feel it, your work. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, your work. Even when I don't feel it, your work. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working.
the way make
Miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
we call you
The waymaker, miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
Leah called me up here for something, and I'll tell you, this is something, man. Tracey told me that she was very nervous. She also told me something that made the daddy real proud. She said when she joined the choir at the first assembly of North Little Rock, Leah was the person that really welcomed her and made her at home. Tom, would you lead us in a prayer? Let's just.
I just want to say that
Yes, sir.
the scripture says when 2 or 3 are gathered, Christ is there amongst. We might not have a whole lot of folks here, but we blew the roof off the church today in worship, and I thank y'all. We've got 7 extremely talented people singing in a small little church here in Oak Ridge, Louisiana, and I just can't say how much I was blessed, and I know that I can speak for our fellow parishioners that they were blessed as well. Thank you so much. Y'all have, I remembered that y'all were powerful, but y'all have just been increasing in power, and it was truly spectacular, and we worshiped here today. Thank y'all.
They got a couple more songs.
We have one more.
Oh, one more? Okay. But do I need to pray now?
Yeah, let me say this. Early on, when the pastor announced that he was going to be out on the 11th of November, then I immediately, I said, hey, Eddie, can we, you know, and Leah said yes. And I said, be sure and get Chris Payne to come. And she said, oh, I got 2 piano players in Little Rock, and we're gonna work it out. I said, no,
It's
get
not
Chris
exactly
Payne to come. Aren't you glad they got Chris Payne? Well, what are we gonna do next, Tom? They gonna sing, we're gonna have a little offering, or what?
Yeah, at the conclusion, we're gonna have a love offering, and Leah had contacted
Well,
Jerry,
Yeah.
and
When I talked to Leah, and I'm gonna turn it over to you in a second, Tom, she said, Daddy, you always, the church always gives a really generous love offering. She said, but we would like to turn it over to the thing that Tom Allen heads up at Christmas time with the gifting of the children. So Tom, you explain.
well, what we do every year, and we've done it for,
How long have you done it?
27 years.
Yeah.
We shop for underprivileged children, and this church becomes a well-oiled machine, and we have a protocol, we have wrappers, we spend about, anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 on anywhere from 35 to 60 kids. And we've been doing that for years and years, and it's not just this church, it's community.